How's it going? Thursday, October 5th, 2023. Since it's October, baseball playoffs, how about some videos on World Series rings? I have 144 players in the Baseball Hall of Fame with World Series rings. 144 Hall of Famers, World Series rings. Who has the most? Yogi Berra, 10 World Series rings. How about that? Did you know that Yogi Berra went to the World Series 13 times and got 10 World Series rings? How about that? That's amazing. 1947 through 1963, he played baseball. Nobody else in baseball history has more World Series rings than Yogi Berra. Catcher, New York Yankees. Who's next? Joe DiMaggio has 9. Did you know that Joe DiMaggio played 13 years, right? 9 times World Series champion. Joe DiMaggio. Who's next? There are 4 more players. 4 players with 7 World Series rings. Bill Dickey, Phil Rizzuto, Yankees, Mickey Mantle, and Babe Ruth, Red Sox and Yankees. 7 World Series rings. Talking about Hall of Fame players right here who have World Series rings. Who's next? Well, I count 1, 2, 3, 3 players with 6 World Series rings. Lou Gehrig, Whitey Ford, and Red Rupping all played for the Yankees. 6 World Series rings. These following players have 5. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 more players. 5 World Series rings. Lefty Gomez, Derek Jeter, Joe Gordon, Mariano Rivera, Catfish Hunter, Tony Lazario, Johnny Mize, Reggie Jackson. 5 World Series rings. How about 4? Got a lot of players with 4. We've got Harry Hooper, Frankie Frisch, Ennis Slaughter, Eddie Collins, Sandy Koufax, Jack Morris. 4 World Series rings. 3. Got a lot of players with 3. Frank Baker, Chief Bender, Mickey Cochran, Earl Combs, Don Drysdale, Johnny Evers, Raleigh Fingers, Wade Hoyt, Stan Musial, Jim Palmer, Tris Baker, Herb Pennock, Tim Raines. 3 World Series rings. And then we've got a lot with 2. You want me to name them all? I got a lot of them. I'll go fast. 2 World Series rings. Steve Carlton, Jesse Haynes, Eddie Plank, Henry Aaron, Roberto Alomar, Camp Hansen, Louis Aparicio, Dave Bancroft, Johnny Bench, Bert Blyleven, Jim Botley, Lou Brock, Mordecai Brown, Frank Chance, Roberto Clemente, Jimmy Fox, Bob Gibson, Goose Goslin, Hank Greenberg, Lefty Grove, Chick Happy. That's my computer. Ricky Henderson, George Kelly, Eddie Matthews, Bill Mazeroski, Joe Morgan, Tony Perez, Eddie Plank, Kirby Puckett, Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, Reg Krasinski, Joe Sewell, Al Simmons, Duke Snyder, Willie Stargell, Joe Tinker, Ross Youngs, and then I got to add this guy, Pete Rose. Pete had 3. Sorry. Forgot to list him among the guys that have 3. And then the rest of the guys, 1. Wade Boggs, Lou Bargeron, Roger Bresnahan, George Brett, Dan Brothers, Roy Campanella, Max Carey, Gary Carter, Orlando Cepeda, Hall of Famers, all these guys. Fred Clark, Jimmy Collins, Stan Kloviski, Kiki Kyler, George Davis, Dizzy Dean, Larry Doby, Dennis Eckersey, Red Faber, Bob Feller, Tom Glavine, Goose Gossage, Burleigh Grimes, Rogers Hornsby, Carl Hubble, Travis Jackson, Randy Johnson, Walter Johnson. 1, only 1 for Walter. Chipper Jones, Al Kaline, Barry Larkin, Bob Lemon, Ernie Lombardi, Greg Maddux, Rabbit Marinville, Pedro Martinez, Christy Mathewson, only 1. Wow. Willie Mays, 1. Joe McKinney, Joe Medwick, Paul Molitor, Eddie Murray, Hal Newhouser, Mel Ott. Satchel Paige got 1. Pee Wee Reese, Sam Rice, Cal Ripken, Jackie Robinson, 1. Ed Roosh, Ivan Rodriguez, Nolan Ryan, only 1. Ray Chalk, Mike Schmidt, Tom Seaver, Ozzie Smith, John Smoltz, Warren Spahn, Bruce Suter, Bill Terry, Frank Thomas, Alan Trammell, Pie Trainer, Dazzy Vance, Honus Wagner, just 1. Ed Walsh, Hoyt Wilhelm, Dick Willis, Dave Winfield, Cy Young. Cy Young, 1 World Series ring. He has 511 victories pitching, and only got 1 World Series ring. And yet, Yogi Berra 10, Joe DiMaggio 9. How about that? Did you notice something? I noticed. Did you notice that there are certain players that don't have a World Series ring in the Hall of Fame? In fact, there's a lot of them. Feel sorry for them. They play their whole baseball career and never get that ring. It's very puzzling, isn't it? Here's the list. Do not have a World Series ring, but they're in the Hall of Fame. Ty Cobb, 3 times played in the World Series, didn't get it. Tony Gwynn, 2 times, didn't get it. Ted Williams, didn't get one. Ron Santo, Billy Williams, Andrew Dawson, Billy Herman, Hack Wilson, Earl Wynn, Eppa Rissy, Sam Crawford, Archie Vaughn, George Kell, Ryan Sandberg, Cubs. Ernie Banks never even played in the World Series. Juan Marshall, Bobby Doerr, Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell, Robin Roberts, Ralph Kiner, Nellie Fox, Ferguson Jenkins, Cubs. Rod Carew, Mike Piazza, Nap Lajoie, George Sisler, Don Sutton. 300 victories, didn't get one. Gaylord Perry, Robin Yount, Carlton Fisk, Ken Griffey Jr., Harmon Killebrew, Carl Yastrzemski, Willie McCovey came within one pitch of getting his ring. He lined out to second base in Game 7. Trevor Hoffman, Jim Bunning, Jim Rice, Luke Appling, Rich Ashburn, Earl Averill, Jake Beckley, Jack Chesbro, John Clarkson, Joe Cronin, Hugh Duffy, Rick Perrell, Elmer Flick. It's my computer. Bud Calvin, Billy Hamilton, Gabby Harnett, Harry Heilman, Monte Irvin, Huey Jennings, Addie Joyce, Tim Keefe, Willie Keeler, Joe Kelly, Mike Kelly, Chuck Klein, Fred Lindstrom, Ted Lyons, Eddie Manouche, Rube Margwell, Kid Nichols, Phil Necro, Rube Waddell, Bobby Wallace, Lloyd Wayner, Paul Wayner, Zach Waite. All these guys I just mentioned did not get a World Series ring. These guys never played in it. Rick Farrell never got the World Series. George Sisler, Rod Carew, Ernie Banks, George Kell, Harry Heilman, Ken Griffey Jr., Ferguson Jenkins, Phil Necro, Gaylord Perry, Ted Lyons, Ron Santo, Billy Williams, Luke Appling, Ralph Kiner, Andrew Dawson, Frank Thomas. Actually, Thomas got a ring, but he didn't play in the game in the series. He was with the White Sox, but he was injured. Edgar Martinez. World Series. How about that? Listen to this. I thought this was interesting. The Yankees have 27 World Series rings. 40 times they made it to the series, the Ultimate Series, World Series. And they win 27. How about that? Cardinals 11 times. Philadelphia, Oakland Athletics / Philadelphia / Oakland Athletics 9 times. Red Sox 9 times. Giants 8. That's New York Giants. San Francisco Giants. New York / San Francisco Giants 8. Dodgers. Brooklyn / LA 6. Cincinnati Reds 6. Pirates 5. Pittsburgh Pirates. Detroit Tigers 4. The Braves. Milwaukee, Atlanta / I believe it's 5. Because I got to add the recent winners. They won one in 2021. Dodgers won in 20, right? And then last year was the Houston Astros. Orioles, Baltimore 3. White Sox 3. Phillies 2 times. Cleveland Indians 2 times. The Mets 2. The Marlins, go figure, Florida / Miami Marlins 2 times. Blue Jays twice. They won it back to back. The Washington Nationals 1 time, and then the Washington Senators 1 time. Walter Johnson's 1 ring. California / Los Angeles Angels 1 time. Diamondbacks got 1. Astros. The Houston Astros 2. They beat the Dodgers, and then last year they won against the Phillies. They've got 2. You know who don't have it? World Series rings? Padres. They made it there twice. Both times with Tony Gwynn. Didn't get it. Brewers. Nope. Tampa Bay Rays, 0. The Rockies, Colorado Rockies, 0. The Mariners, 0. Did I mention the Royals? Kansas City Royals have 2. This computer. Okay. So summing it up, teams with the most World Series rings, the Yankees. And then you have the Padres, the Brewers, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Rockies, and the Mariners do not have a World Series ring. In fact, the Mariners have never been in the World Series. The Rockies have, Tampa Bay Rays have, the Brewers have, and the Padres twice. How about the California Angels? They got one. Actually, they've been in there twice, the Angels. And they won one. Interesting, huh? World Series players with the most and the teams with the most World Series rings. I figured since it was October and the playoffs are here in the World Series, who's going to win it this year, 2023? I say the Atlanta Braves win it. Why not? They got a really good team. We'll see what happens. I've been getting my information from a book I wrote. Baseball is a numbers game. How many pages I got on this one? 492 pages. Examining the achievements and stats of Baseball Hall of Famers. I just focused on Hall of Famers. And the players that I mentioned, all are in the Hall of Fame. Now, there are other players who didn't make the Hall of Fame that have World Series rings. It's just too many to list. What do you think? World Series. That's a privilege to play in it, and it's a privilege to get a ring. Just want to do that video since it's October 5th, 2023. Thanks for watching. I'm out.